Ambassador Sajjanar, esteemed chair for the session, Professor Arvind Kumar, my co-panelist, ladies and gentlemen, Jai Hind and good afternoon. Without much ado, I shall move on with the presentation. Topic that I was given is this, and which is the theme for this session, and I will delve straight into the first part, which is emerging geopolitics. So, thankfully for me, all prior speakers have alluded to, except for Dr. Divya Iyer, who also had a strain, but all the same, have alluded to what the present geopolitics is about. And I shall, nothing can probably summarize the current situation better than what the Canadian Prime Minister said just a few days ago. Takes time. So what he said is that we are no longer in a transformation, we are seeing a disruption. And the entire world order, the so-called rules-based order that one knew existed or believed existed, is now no longer in place. Moving on, so we have the situation in the world is now categorized as VUCA. And VUCA is, I'm sure a lot of you would already know, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. What about the maritime domain? So I will quickly raise some salient issues about what is in the maritime domain and then the challenges and the complexities of the maritime domain. First, the laws on land are defined to your territory, and the sea areas are defined internationally by their proximity to the coastal state. It is very telling that 95% of the world's oceans by volume are areas beyond national jurisdiction. So there are no laws, there are no rules, and it is only on the basis of common practice, of good common practice, that one can govern sort of the seas. The next challenge, because sea areas are classified by proximity to the coastal state, any state, irrespective of size or capacity, has the same amount of EEZ, which is 200 miles from the coast. So a country with the capability and the capacity like India also has 200 miles from the shore, and small countries, island nations like Maldives, will also have 200 miles from their territory. Which means you see the difference in terms of ratios. What is the area of the EEZ to the area of land which a country has? And that creates several challenges. Challenges in ability to govern what is your EEZ, what are your territorial waters, and then to take on from there. And that is why collaboration is key in the maritime domain. This is the Indian Ocean. This is just one snapshot of the Indian Ocean. Again, we know, all of us here know the volume of trade, etc., etc. The challenge in this picture is that these are benign identities. These are entities that are disclosing their identity. Each of these icons on that screen is someone who is transmitting on AIS and is telling who that entity is, which is the ship, where is it going from, where to, where does it belong, etc., etc. But there are lots here who are not disclosing their identities. That I will come to slightly later. So what are the complexities of the maritime domain? Broadly, I have just kept them to 4. There are a lot more, but first, all ships, all vessels have multinational nature. The vessel could belong somewhere, the master could come from somewhere else, the crew and the cargo could come from many other countries. So it is not easy to say this ship with its cargo or and the crew, etc., belongs to a particular country. They could all be coming in and going to different places. The largest number of small vessels are without transponders. They do not disclose their identities, including entities with inimical intent. Entities with inimical intent will not transmit on AIS, even though they are equipped with AIS. So there is no way of identifying what those ships are, what is their intention, and they are called dark ships. And then the non-military challenges, which are piracy, drug running, etc., was spoken of earlier. This is what the maritime domain looks like, and once again, like I said, in this mass of entities which are disclosing their identity, the vessels which are transmitting on AIS and disclosing their identity, we also need to know those that are not. And for each of them, whether someone is disclosing identity or not, we need to know who is where and why. The identity, where is that entity, and what is the intent, and that is not easy to find out. And so that requires collaboration, like I said, amongst all countries, and they come with different intentions. Now, this is, we'll go past the video, but this is basically that there are international organizations which base their actions on collaboration, on cooperation, and that is the world order which is being challenged as of now. Transnational crime, non-military, IUU fishing. Please see the scale, $23 billion annually. That is the value that is being extracted away from recognized global economy. Contraband smuggling. We had heard of the Golden Triangle and the Golden Crescent. What about the Hash Highway and the Smack Track? Innovative ways of smuggling contraband. Piracy, armed robbery. Illegal human migration. The migration of people from Africa to Europe is largely overseas. So, in addition to being VUCA, the maritime domain is complex, it is congested, and it is very severely contested. What is the threat spectrum? Threat spectrum is safety incidents and accidents. What you have on the view file on the bottom right, as you see it, is an accident in our own offshore area, in the Mumbai High northern field, which was because of the vessel just collided into a rig. Number of lives lost, 11. And another 11 lost at sea. Military threats, this is not recent. The vessel of that picture of that ship is not recent. It was early 2000s at Aden, USS Cole. And then actions by non-military, non-state actors. The challenge today is that the boundary between state and non-state is diffusing. That is getting more and more diffused. Have a look at this video. I'm sure some of you would have seen it on social media, very widely circulated. Not very old, pretty recent. The date is given below. On top, sorry. November 23, sorry. And my senior veterans in the audience would tell you gladly that this requires a fair amount of skill. It's not easy to execute such an operation. But this was executed by whom? By not some recognized navy of the world. Look at this incident. This is just 220 nautical miles from Porbandar. Our EEZ extends 200 miles. This is just 20 miles out. It could very well have happened within. See this. Once again, I'm sure a lot of you have seen this video. Available on social media. Now, are Houthis state or non-state? In whose war were they taking ships down? And this is the nature of complete, the number of incidents. In just about 14 months, we have 140 incidents on merchant ships. Yes. Nord Stream, maritime. It is not shipping, it is undersea. Not visible, but getting affected. Finally, this is what happened. After $11 billion were invested, this is what happened. Elon Musk turned the tap off of satellite communications in the Russia-Ukraine war. On whose side? So there is a great evolution in the complexity at sea. Drones attacking offshore platforms. Maritime cyber. We heard of the software at the Vizhinjam port. Here, the entire Iranian merchant shipping fleet hacked into in two separate incidents just the last year. So, if maritime cyber can attack and affect a ship, it can affect ports, it can block the Suez. This was not obviously linked to maritime cyber, but yes, that is the nature of incident. We recall this evergreen incident in the Suez Canal. Ambassador Sajjanar alluded to the South China Sea. The South China Sea, the maritime militia of China was used. Just see how they created a wall at sea and huge merchant ships had to skirt around. Not very old, this is just December 25 and 11 Jan 26. just about 2 weeks ago. Naming undersea features. What's in a name? But then if you can name features, if you can change the nomenclature of your geography, then you can stake claim to it. And I have not even alluded to the challenges of climate change, etc., etc. So these are issues that are not just evolving, they're already upon us, and we need to be able to take them on. With that, I have come to the end.